Today, I'm going to talk about makeup. When someone suggested it, I thought, everyone is probably thinking I'm going to talk about winged eyeliner because mine is always on point and precise. But I won't talk about winged liner. Those secrets are mine. Instead, I'm going to talk about makeup as a radical anti-racist movement that centers Black people and Black beauty. I remember the first time I noticed that none of the real women in my life were in magazines, on TV, or anywhere but in my house or where my parents took me. I was around 6, and I knew that the women in my life were gorgeous because I looked like them, and I thought they were incredible. I also remember the phrase, maybe she's born with it. Maybe it's, you know the rest. That's not what my mom used. And as you can see, I come from very pretty people, and I'm not even the best looking in the family. The women in the ads were all white. So were ballerinas, movie stars, and rich folks. All those people were successful. This was the 70s, if the ad reference didn't already give away my age. I didn't see myself or my loved ones anywhere positive. Sometimes I would see bad men on TV that were Black. In school, I was the only one. Black and big bones, they called me. I knew I was being treated differently. I thought, maybe I'm not born with it. Maybe I need some help. Shortly after, my parents took the family to the new house to check on the building process. They were painting. I saw the half-full paint cans and thought, help was in a can, like makeup. I told my parents they should paint me white. No, was the response. I could tell they didn't understand. At 6, I already knew this body was not safe for me. Of course they would not have understood. They were immigrants and didn't know what it felt like to be the only Black kid. They made a choice to move to a new society. They didn't know racism before they got here. They were learning it in real time. I trusted them, but I continued to suffer in whiteness. I never belonged, so I continued to look for help. I would try to get good grades or make jokes to make myself seem cool. I'm wildly awkward, so I turned into the joke. I wanted to be like the women I began seeing on TV, Janet Jackson, Sade, Tina Turner, Whitney Houston. I knew my mom was beautiful, but I wanted to be a model. I was tall, and I thought, that could be the place I belong. Nope. But not because I wasn't beautiful. It was because I did not represent the beauty this world values. Does that even make sense? The makeup artists never had my shades. Or if they did, I became an experiment, like gold from here to here. Because they didn't know what to do with my body or my beauty. So I learned how to do makeup. Surprise! Plus, I'm a little creative. I began scouring stores to find products for me, my friends, and clients. In 2015, I went to random makeup counters trying to find foundation ranges. It was very beige, like a dozen versions of beige, and one dark, maybe. Imagine every time you ask to spend your money, you're told, no. How about more TV shows? Nope. Hire more Black people? because we are skilled and the stereotypes do not represent the varied spectrum of types of Black people that exist? No? Why? How does makeup disrupt someone's career? The interruption highlighted how difficult it can be to meet the standards and succeed while living in systemic racism. Now, not everyone wants to be a model, but these types of barriers are everywhere. Anti-Blackness is the gauge of oppression. It's centered in whiteness. So centering Blackness is anti-racism. It just so happens that makeup is the way that I personally illustrated this. In 2017, Fenty Beauty launched. It was created by Rihanna to be inclusive of all shades and genders. Finally, some makeup that I could use. No more creating foundation colors by custom mixing for clients darker than me. This was an iconic moment in society. Not only was every shade included, every body was included. That is anti-racism in action. This is why we must all level up our anti-racism. When we recognize that there's a barrier to basic everyday life necessities, it must be removed. It's 2020, and we're only beginning to find out what can be accomplished when barriers are truly removed. I'm speaking on makeup, but the barriers must be taken down everywhere. The looks that are being created may seem elementary to real-life woes, but creativity is what fuels life. Who wants to only wear uniforms or black eyeliner? I don't. And not everyone has to. Anti-racism practices mean that I get to thrive in my existence, you get to thrive in your existence, everybody thrives, is attainable. I love being this exact person, a giant Black woman who has a very unconventional relationship with blue. It's not conservatism. More creativity means more acceptance. The point that most people care about is that we saw Fenty Beauty, an inclusive brand, practice anti-racism, and they made billions of dollars. When we saw a successful brand do what so many wanted, we began to hope that things could change. I myself was relieved. It meant that that 6-year-old was finally able to be included. And she makes herself up any way she likes. She's no longer 6. I'm still facing barriers beyond makeup. Racism is unavoidable. For any person that is Black, Indigenous, or a person of color, it's everywhere we exist. Makeup is just beginning to center Blackness in a way that is not negative or toxic. We're creating our own brands, and it's not hard to include everyone while centering Blackness. I'm always asked, what does that look like? Well, it's a huge list, but it begins with understanding that the society we live in now is incomplete. It is whiteness. Never mind the cis heteronormative. It's everywhere, at the expense of erasing the rest of people on the spectrum. Trust Black people. Distrust is often happening and most won't notice. When I arrive at events, often I'm told, you don't belong here, because they assumed Black folks weren't hired. I had many anxious days trying to be on time whilst getting people to believe I belonged with the talent without being told I'm intimidating or aggressive. When you hire Black people, make sure they belong, so we don't have to have those anxious moments when we show up at work. It includes listening to our ideas and trying them. It won't be perfect because we are human. We can make mistakes and create amazing things that are not singing and dancing. Center Blackness in any way you can, beyond makeup and your personal lives. We all know you have a Black friend, cousin, coworker, or crush. That's not enough. Yes, facilitate opportunity. Believe us, it creates things like Black Panther and Black is King. Huge Black-focused movies. We need more than one of anything and everything. There are many stories to tell beyond entertainment, race, gender, ability, skill set, love, and the list goes on. Children born in this moment have a different story to tell. We must go further in making it the norm to see Black people everywhere, doing anything they want and existing, rather than Black people having to find safe spaces to exist. Honestly, having access to more Black has affected my life in so many ways. I stand taller, I'm more confident, and I create more magic, figuratively. But the more I'm free and live a different narrative, the more I succeed, and I want that for every person on earth. Really, what I'm asking you to do today is to think how makeup could change so much in your life, and it has been widely available to most of you at your discretion. Also think what it's done in 3 short years for inclusion. Imagine if we applied this include and accept everyone model to everything, at every opportunity. It's anti-racism, and it will level up every aspect of your life. It will change how you react and how you're treated. Remember, Black is a capital B until racism is no longer a barrier. Anti-racism is not a miracle pill, but put in the work and the change will be a literal glow up from the inside out, and you never have to accomplish a perfect winged liner to be beautiful.